Black voters are predicted to make up 23% of likely voters. Their core constituency often described as making up about a fifth of the typical Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's good. That's about right. That sounds good. So they still might be 23%, and the Hispanic could go up because the Hispanic could eat into the white. I'm telling y'all, the Hispanics are going to vote this time in Texas like they've never voted before. I'm telling y'all, because I was looking at it. The Hispanics only make up, 25 to 30% of the general, right? But they're the plurality. They are the biggest group in the state, if I recall correctly. They're going to vote this year. I'm telling you, they're voting this year. They're voting this year.
To be fair, though, in Jasmine Crockett's favor, I done seen a lot of plus 190s win outright.
That's for sure. Right?
They got a shot. She got a shot.
She doesn't
have a chance for sure.
There's no doubt on that.
And the other stat you mentioned Latinos. Latinos in the Democratic primary are 28% of likely voters. So I understand Negroes are outnumbered down there. So we need the hombres. We need our Latin brothers and sisters. I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel about this lady. Goliath got me saying fuck this lady, and I agree. She should stay where she is. And I've heard you say, man, she can head up some committee or something.
We don't. No, it's not. Okay, let's everybody calm down.
Man, Goliath, he said he in charge of 100.
Matt's crashing. You can't. Any man that lifts weights and drives a Tesla, can't trust him. And that's Matt Goliath. So there you go. Brandy, they did. That's what I'm saying. In Texas, they are voting Democrat. That's what I'm saying. The Texas 9 race, man. Y'all gotta keep up. Then that 2024 election, man, that 2024 election is going to be the anomaly of anomalies.
Yeah. I'm
telling y'all, we already see it. What was it? Trump won counties full out in New Jersey, and they swang. You got me swanging. They swang 20 points to the left.
I mean,
they hate the
we all have talked about Texas 9, but a big part of winning Texas 9 was the Latino swinging.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. So.
No, I put the article. Brady, you might not have been here. I put the article in the chat on Texas 9 for the Texas Tribune. I think you get 5 free articles a month. I'm at my limit, so I have to buy them. I'm have to subscribe to it. But they don't like the ICE thing. They like getting rid of the criminals. They don't like regular people on the job getting jacked up. I mean, I wish Trent would actually report on the Valley, because I'd be interested in what the Latinos in the Valley think of the primary race. And I can't find any. Did Cuellar endorse somebody? Probably not. Like, what do Latinos in the Valley think? There's millions of people in the Valley.
Why would Trent report on that when he's in Tehran?
That's a good point.
The question, Latin vote swing towards Crockett or swing towards Tallarico? Is that the question?
The RCV is not going to Crockett. The RCV is going to Tallarico. She's not even been to the RCV. She didn't campaign there. Now on Twitter talking shit about her. They're saying
RGV?
I'm sorry, RGV is the RCV. RGV, I didn't mean to say Rancho as well. RGV, yeah. They are complaining that she hasn't been, and they're confused as to why. They said that some of these little counties said they invited her multiple times and she won't show up. I'm just letting y'all know what people are reporting on the ground.
Yeah. I don't know what the newspapers are down there. But Kimberly, can you do some investigation for us, Kim? Can you do it?
Yeah, what are we looking for?
What's the Valley? Like, what is the Valley? I'm not getting any. I know El Paso's going to vote for him, West Texas. And I know, what is the Valley Democratic stronghold? What do they say? I know San Antonio, which is not the Valley to the Valley. I know the newspaper there endorsed her. But what are people in the Valley saying, especially around the question of ICE and immigration and Latinos?
She ain't been to Hidalgo County. She ain't been to Cameron County. Okay. She ain't been to what's up in Willoughby. She ain't been to places.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but I can take a minute to look.
He was just in Laredo. He just had a rally in Laredo.
But I want to know where the people are. Like,
Where's Marshall? Don't Marshall live in that area?
He does. I mean, he may be working or something.
I mean, I'm a little him.
Is it strawberries? Because you know he's a sharecropper.
I mean, McAllen is not that small. I mean, it's broad, like get the broader valley as well. Hidalgo County. I'm just saying, like, there are areas that have papers. I don't remember all the names of the papers, and like the Monitor is a big one there. But she's not getting endorsed by any of them, so I don't really understand what's going on. Rio Grande Valley. I don't know what the RTV is. I said RTV, Rank Choice 7. A little my brain. She is not putting up. I don't think she even thinks she's going to do well there. That's why I think she's avoiding those areas, and she's staying primarily focused with San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth. And she knows she ain't doing shit in Austin, but she's probably trying to be at least somewhat competitive there, just like he's trying to be competitive in DFW. But I mean, we're also thinking that North Dallas is just gonna. I'm sorry, let me not say this. Y'all can call me a cunt. Y'all think that she's the only one that's gonna do well? All I'll say is that in DFW, and she is not.
Well, neoliberal has her at like +8.
That's insane.
I don't know. The other thing that you were saying that about, and you could be explicit by saying North Dallas, because I think that like there is a difference between Dallas County, like the city of Dallas, Dallas County, and then what's outside of Dallas County that is north of Dallas that some people will call North Dallas, but to me it's not technically North Dallas because North Dallas is still in Dallas County, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot like Addison, Richardson.
Do you guys have
like
precinct by precinct? Does the Dallas County clerk release that?
Yeah, on the website. Go to Vote Hub. They have all the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
because that's like a big. Yeah. Okay.
That's why I'm saying that he is going to run it up in North Dallas. Well, North Dallas. South Dallas, she got it. But people are also overestimating it because it's her district, and that's wrong to do.
Because I think I slightly touched on this earlier, but like with Tarrant County, with the Texas Senate 9 seat, the state Senate seat that we were talking about, where Ramette ran up those numbers, that part of Tarrant County, that part of Fort Worth, that black people don't live there. If Talarico runs through that part where Crockett runs through the south, eastern, and western part of Fort Worth or Tarrant County where more black people live, I don't know. DFW is not as I'm more on the it's likely, but I'm not for sure she's carrying it heavy.
I mean, Jefferson is in the conversation. That's where Royce West. No, his strongest county was Borden. So Jefferson was his next strongest. I'm looking at data from the 2020 race, the runoff. Sorry, let me go you all look.
And this just lets me know that, like, if somebody was enterprising and wanted to make money being like a Politico and they deep dived on this every day, people would definitely be into it. Like, who's the go-to? There's a black lady on YouTube who I listen to named Dorothy Burton. Do you guys know her?
No, I've never heard of it.
She does Texas politics. She has a small platform. How many people on her? She only has it's a very small platform. But like, she goes through stuff and it's like local stuff. And I don't know, man. Like, someone on this reporting from different areas of the state, going to rallies. This is an exciting race, man.
Oh, I think actually Kaufman is a likelier competitor to Jefferson than Dallas because it's the fastest left trending county in the state. Yeah, and that's because it has the fastest growing black population. Just look it up. So let me get that.
You said Kaufman County?
Oh, Kaufman. Yeah, it's actually a better.
I feel like
Dallas.
I feel like that's where Forney is. And I only say that because Kim mentioned that the other day when somebody was asking where to move to.
LOL.
It's just fun doing this though. I mean, looking up all these, all the precinct data, looking at.
Do you guys think that, especially if Tallarico wins, we're going to get stories of the hidden black Tallarico voter who the polls didn't account for?
Can you say that one more time?
If Tallarico wins, especially, like we're going to get stories during the general election of the hidden black Tallarico vote. Because if he wins, there's going to be if he wins, there is going to be that story needs to be written because it most likely means, she only won 70-30. Like
I've done my part.
neoliberal. Yes, neoliberal has him at, has it at like 90-10.
90-10 is crazy.
Neoliberal, I don't know what your model
Can you stop?
90-10.
My model is exactly where both hubs about to crash. Both hubs. Who leads? I just put in the link. It's exactly the same. Maybe we get 90-10.
I just want you to crash.
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm sorry.
My model has 53 Crockett, 46 Tallarico.
I have him at 50.8, and her at like 49. Like mine. I mean, I can find mine. I have it on my computer.
Sure, I don't necessarily disagree. Like, given the undecideds, if I was doing a forecast, I might have. I'm not doing the forecast, right? This is just a.
Why?
Oh God, I'm just not. Can you
Do
stop
it, Aaron.
doing? Okay, if you look at the vote hubs averages, right, they hit weighting based on the quality of the poll, which I don't do, but they are Crockett 42, Tallarico 38.
So now I have 50.4 with him, and then 49.6 her. And I also have I have polling averaged in. She leads by 1.3% overall fundraising, and he was Googled more in general and most recently. He has more endorsements, and then of course his experience in winning quote unquote elections. I have her, but anyway, I'm going mute.
He was on Morning Joe this morning, so this is gonna sound a little pseudo. I apologize. He was on this. This is gonna sound pseudo. I have no data for this, so don't hold me to this. His ability during the next 10 days to get on what I call the Sutter Home Chardonnay Old Black Lady Plantation Democrat TV shows, it's going to help him win some votes he would not have otherwise have won. Huh?
Your mama watches a
Colbert, Morning Joe. These people get up in the morning, they pour on baby.
The View.
We didn't have grapefruit juice when we was growing up, but now you can get grapefruit juice, and I can use my Social Security for it. Give me some grapefruit juice, baby, and at about 11:30 a.m. they get them little bottles of Sutter Home Chardonnay. I just put that in there, mix it with some water. If you cut it with water, it cuts the alcohol, baby. All day long, they have MSNBC and CNN playing all day long. Then The View. Then back to MSNBC, Morning Joe. Then The View. Y'all know that's other black people, and they're deep into politics. They got newspapers all over the house, and they're just plantation Democrats. They know Jasmine Crockett. Now, I saw that little white boy on Morning Joe this morning. I love Joe Scarborough. Got a nice head of hair on him, and that Nika, she better treat my Joe right. Y'all know exactly what old black lady I'm talking about. They vote in every election. A lot of them volunteer at the. You ever notice you go to a poll, you could be in a white neighborhood voting, and it's still black lady, and they're like busting a negress over age 60. Let me continue. That lady, it's gonna be. I like that little, that Jasmine. I love my Jasmine, but she just a little too hot. But I saw that boy, and he was talking about Jesus. And when you talk about my Savior, when you talk about the Lord, he was saying how we need to welcome all that. The Lord, you don't make small for the political parties. You make them big, baby. We need to be in Jesus' way. I'm going to vote for that baby. He got the anointing. I'm telling you. Him being on these shows is going to help. I'm telling you.
I mean, my mom lives in the Haltom City part of Tarrant County, which is a suburb. And she said that she's undecided. She plans to vote this weekend. And by the way, undecided is good. That's after a lot of lobbying, a lot of cajoling. Well, I can't cajole my mother. I'm sorry. A lot of explaining. Okay, like we've gotten to 50-50. So I really believe, like, if she can get to 50-50, I really believe that there is a secret Negro Tallarico vote.
Eric lives in Dallas, and his new wife, she's a black boule girl. She's voting for, they're both voting for Tallarico.
I mean, I think that the young blacks for sure are going to vote for Jasmine Crockett for sure. I think that black bougie Texas vote, he might be able to siphon off like 40% of them. That sounds high.
30,
25, 30%. Yeah. I think a lot of
them think she is not going to win, though, because they actually have brains. Some of them are not just I'm just going to vote for her because she's a black woman. Oh my God, I have to do it. Like, a lot of people in Texas aren't actually like that. And that's what
I think a lot of them think she's too brash.
Correct. And they know what
that Jesus talk
in Texas.
But that Jesus talk, I think, is going to appeal to a lot of older black voters. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if he wins a good portion of it.
Oh my gosh! You know what my mom said? She actually mentioned that Crockett never talks about the Lord.
Yeah. She's an atheist.
She is?
I mean, she's an atheist like all of you are atheists. You said you're like culturally Christian, but like y'all don't really believe Jesus walked on water. Y'all don't really believe he was resurrected on the third day. Y'all don't really believe.
Not too much, nigga.
I'm definitely down.
You shaking the table with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Jew.
These old black people believe that Mary, peace be upon her, was in fact impregnated by God. They believe that.
These people are mentally ill.
Well, that's a different discussion.
Ben, to your point, when you played the Tallarico speaking yesterday, and when he got to the point about grief, I was like, the black Christians here, the AME, as an AME girly, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they love that.
He's speaking on my term right now. He's speaking to me that they would eat this shit up every day. This speaks to the core of what they believe. This very much would get black people, well, the churchy Christian, at least AME girls. I don't know about the Baptist girls. I can't speak to them. But at least the AME people who go to church, oh yeah, that would get them fired up. Because it's just like for me, as an AME girly, it's very aligned with what I believe. So I was just like, oh yeah.
I'm mad at you saying the Baptists aren't saved.
Oh no, that's not what I'm saying. I can't speak to y'all's experience. I can't speak to whether or not it speaks to y'all the same way it spoke to me. That's what I'm saying. You know,
they're not. You don't have to back.
I'm a culture girly, and from a past life, and it spoke to me. I wanted to say glory.
She's at work. She can't speak louder. She said, and I'm going to say glory. She said in her work voice. It was like, give me the chicken Caesar wrap. Glory. I have a question for y'all because I don't know. Has Tallarico done the black church tour thing, or he refused to do it?
He did it already. He did it before she even jumped in the campaign.
Oh, he is doing it?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
I praised him for it, like, what was that, November, when he did it? And I was like, look at him, he been with the past. He been with the black.
Let me see what Freddie Haynes said about the Senate race. Texas.
No, I'm not a surrogate Tallarico Leon, I just have a brain, unlike several other, niggas that run around on this app. Just sad. Thought that we all had brains, but sometimes I guess people chose Temu to buy theirs. I didn't.
Wait a minute. So what high profile Texas endorsements has she gotten? I know she got Angela also Brooks, but that doesn't really do much. Senator from Maryland. But did she get any of the did Al Green endorse her? Al Green got right. He didn't?
No,
That's curious.
He doesn't have any U.S. congressional endorsements.
So that's curious to me. None of her colleagues in the Democratic caucus endorsed her.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see anyone in the. I didn't see that. I didn't see anyone in U.S. Congress endorse her. Has someone? Did I miss?
I don't know. I'm googling it now. I don't see.
I just know the Emily List endorsed her because they endorse anyone that has a vagina. So.
Pastor Hayes, if I'm not mistaken, has been Jasmine's spiritual advisor for a couple of years now.
Who?
Pastor Hayes.
Yeah, she allegedly goes to friendship.
That girl has not allegedly in years. Wait a minute. So why didn't he endorse her for Senate?
Castro didn't even do it. I'm sorry, even the San Antonio mayor Castro, who ain't doing shit working for some get off the vote organization, he didn't even endorse. She's not gotten any major. I'm sorry, I'm not being mean. She's not. Also Brooks, congrats. Heinrich endorsed Tallarico. Coons basically soft endorsed Tallarico. Leadership likes him. She's not gotten anywhere. Her bestie AOC hasn't endorsed her. She went and followed Tallarico after the hoopla. So
Something's off.
Colin Allred, he endorsed.
I'm looking at her I'm trying to find her endorsements now. Okay, see every start. No, something's off.
There's a labor union out here that has endorsed her as well. I forget the name of it, but I know she has a couple of unions behind her.
Is it the Black Workers of America and Texas chapters?
I think so. I believe so. That and then there's a super PAC, the Emily PAC, that's endorsing her as well.
Something's off. I don't see look here. None of her colleagues in the House have endorsed her.
Something is off.
Something's off.
Kim, she went and visited that little boy that posted it. He didn't even post her in the photo. It was just him. He intentionally distanced himself from looking like he was endorsing her or doing work with her, with that little boy who got detained. I'm not trying to be mean, but baby, they don't want nothing to do with you. They don't.
And that's a fact, because remember the interview he did? He said Jasmine and I.
Correct.
No, that was very.
Yeah.
But the problem is not even I'm worried. Say she wins the nomination. Even then, something this is weird.
All of this plus the Texas Black Democrat Coalition, it's just a lot. Something's wrong.
Yeah, I told y'all yesterday. Y'all got to get it together. Y'all need to start having conventions and don't just have the Honorable Judge Al Green do his thing. Y'all got to start putting some. Y'all got to get it. Y'all are out of order. Now I blame feminism, but y'all can blame whatever you want to blame. But y'all are out of order. The problem with the world, politically, socially, is people are out of order. Feminism is to blame for a lot of it, but y'all got to get in order, Kimberly. It's terrible.
Everything's why the Black family is now strong.
Mm-hmm.
Has Freddie Haynes done any public events? Has Freddie Haynes done any public event? Or said anything? I don't know.
He was on the
I
news.
haven't looked. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, in the district?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've seen stuff online.
Okay. I haven't looked, so I did.
I mean, he's always kind of public, like when he goes to the store, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's done some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait till he's in Congress. I wish he had been in there years ago, but
Yeah, I'm
he
actually
was saving souls, so whatever.
And tearing down, black cultural institutions. But I'm still hurt about that. But yeah, I look forward to him. What?
No, I'm saying especially after Reverend Jackson died.
No,
It kind of made me kind of more sad that he didn't stay at Rainbow Push, actually.
It's I can imagine it was a mess. I know they're doing a lot of. I was wondering if they were going to do a lot of events, but my fake wife, who is really a man, sent me a list of the different events that they're going to have in honor of Jackson, and it looks like a lot of them are going to be at Rainbow Push, though.
You got to go over it?
Yeah.
I wish I could go.
Did you see the public? It was like the press conference from the children. Was it yesterday?
I did.
No.
Yeah. I think almost all of them were there except Jackie.
I did. There were many moments that were very powerful, I thought.
I bet.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it was really something. And I thought the questions were good too. I don't know where they found these reporters from. I thought the whole event was really something. It was really, really moving. Yeah, it was great. It was really great.
It's worth. Yeah, they start on the 25th. So they'll have a public visitation on Wednesday at Rainbow Push, and then
Wait, with the body?
I'm assuming.
Oh,
that's
wow.
It doesn't say what time, so I'm gonna have to look at the time. But then on Thursday there's another, so they're gonna do two events. No, I'm sorry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they're going to do public visitations from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. At least it says on Thursday, and then Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then they're going to have a celebration of hope. I'm not sure what day. I guess it's Friday. Yeah, Friday. And then a homegoing service. But it says from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. I don't know what that's going to look like. And that's on Saturday.
Okay, I've used a couple different models. The models are saying that based on Tuesday and Wednesday, the Blacks are running it up in Dallas. So it's the inner city and the southern, sorry, they use the word inner city, sorry. And the southern sector, everybody knows that that's where the Negroes live.
What are the numbers? What do the raw numbers look like?
Oh, okay. So we have, well, they break it down by precinct, but just for example, Disciple Central, which is in DeSoto, 807 Democrat, 33 R for Wednesday. And then in the wider areas, we'll say Addison, it's 98 Democrat, 60 Republican. So the analysis from both ChatGPT 5.2 Pro and Gemini 3 Pro is that the inner city, southern sector, and the older inner ring suburbs. More of blue.
The good news about this is this augurs well either way. Augurs, you wouldn't say that. Bodes well either way for the general. So that's good. That's good. That's really good. Don't you guys think?
Yes.
Don't you think these people
I love Black people being empowered to exercise the franchise. I support.
Did y'all ever watch? I did. Y'all watched the interview that Tallarico did for he was, I guess, when it was banned by the FCC or something. Did y'all watch that, or is that out?
Yeah, we streamed it on here yesterday.
Oh, okay. Was it good? I mean, did he do well?
It was fine. Yeah, it was fine.
Oh, you know what? We got distracted, and then this turned into, mongrel fighting. We never played Ossoff. That speech that everybody was talking about, that had the talk about the Epstein class.
That's right. It was 30 minutes. Or you went through.
Oh, I was. Yeah. Then I got distracted. Wait, let me find some clip. Oh, this isn't from that speech, but I feel like this was kind of good. This was posted 2 days ago. John Ossoff made a speech at Big Bethel AME Church. Let's hear it.
Oh, says whoever digs a pit whoever digs a pit will fall into it. Scripture is full of kings brought low by their own arrogance. Ahab surrounded himself with 400 yes men, false prophets paid to affirm the king's delusions. And those delusions led him to his defeat. And among today's false prophets are the election deniers, who indulge this president's obsession with overturning the 2020 election. Hear me when I say this. They tell a lie so absurd and therefore so debasing to tell that the act of telling it proves the teller's total and humiliating submission. Says, whoever dig.
I'm sorry. I'm all soft-pilled. I am all soft-pilled.
I will affirm what you can all clearly see. You can see it, right? Masked federal agents profiling, brutalizing, and killing American citizens. And maybe amidst all the cruelty and the chaos, you start to feel a little doubt, and you start to wonder whether our republic can survive it. A government transformed into a tool of one man's vengeance and enrichment. A spiritually broken president who digs the moral pit deeper and deeper. The pastor Proverbs says, whoever digs a pit whoever digs a pit will fall into it. And scripture is full of kings brought low by their own arrogance. Ahab surrounded himself with 400 yes men, false prophets paid to affirm the king's delusions. And those delusions led him to his defeat. And among today's false prophets are the election deniers, who indulge this president's obsession with overturning the 2020 election. Now, hear me when I say this. They tell a lie so absurd and therefore so debasing to tell that the act of telling it proves the teller's total and humiliating submission.
Okay, I know that I'd already played that last part, but I am on the off train. I'm sorry. I just think it's good. Very, he has a presence. Probably photographs better than, probably more photogenic than he, is in the video, but that's okay. That's fine. Takes a good picture. I'm awesome.
He's everything Shapiro wishes to be.
Oh, you don't want to hear the whole thing? Okay, wait, let me find. So I started off looking for clips from his big Atlanta rally speech, and then I stumbled upon, I guess we'll call it a sermonette or whatever that he gave at Big Bethel AME just a couple days ago. And the new clips are good, but I see if they have the full video of his whole speech. it's only 9 minutes. I'm about to play it.
Please stand to your feet as we receive a champion for justice, our United States Senator, John Ossoff. Good morning. Good morning. It is such an honor to be back at Big Bethel on this hallowed ground. Thank you, Pastor Jay, for that kind introduction. Where did the First Lady go? Thank you, First Lady Michelle. And good morning, Big Bethel. It's an honor to be back. I am grateful this morning for life. Breakfast that we shared this morning. I'm grateful for the roof over our heads. And I'm grateful to be here with all of you and for the honor of representing you as your United States Senator. First, please, would every veteran, every military service member, every military spouse and dependent please rise to be honored by all of us in gratitude for your service. Thank you. Now, first, I will affirm what you can all clearly see. You can see it, right? Our nation is afflicted and in crisis. Americans losing insurance in the middle of chemo, hospitals closing down services to fund tax cuts for the very wealthiest people. Masked federal agents profiling, brutalizing, and killing American citizens. And maybe amidst all the cruelty and the chaos, you start to feel a little doubt, and you start to wonder whether our republic can survive it. A government trained pastor, Proverbs says, whoever digs a pit whoever digs a pit will fall into it. And scripture is full of kings brought low by their own arrogance. Ahab surrounded himself with 400 yes men, false prophets paid to affirm the king's delusions. And those delusions led him to his defeat. And among today's false prophets are the election deniers, who indulge this president's obsession with overturning the 2020 election. Now, hear me when I say this. They tell a lie so absurd and therefore so debasing to tell that the act of telling it proves the teller's total and humiliating submission. Just consider that the sitting Attorney General of the United States and the Director of the FBI refused to accept Trump's defeat in the 2020 election, an election he lost by 74 electoral college votes and 7 million popular votes, the widest margin of defeat since John McCain in 2008. Just think about that. And since now they're wielding the power of state to rewrite history, we have to remind everyone that Trump didn't just lose Georgia. He lost Arizona. He lost Michigan. He lost Nevada. He lost Pennsylvania. He lost Wisconsin. And then he tried to cling to power, tried to intimidate Georgia officials to find him more votes, ginned up a mob that tried to hang his own vice president, and today still obsesses over his shame. So he sent them to Fulton County. Seize your ballots on a pack of lies. Now, why Fulton? Well, in part for the same reason this president posts videos that depict Barack and Michelle Obama as apes. See, the power of black voters and the fact that the power of black voters ejected him from office may outrage him more than the defeat itself.
That's right. That's right.
And so he tries to delegitimize your exercise of power. And now with elections approaching, he tries to suppress it. How foolish of them to come to the cradle of the civil rights movement and the doorstep of John Lewis's congressional district to spread those lies and seize your ballots. How foolish.
Foolish. Sorry. I'm in it. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's keep going.
To launch an attack on voting rights here at the political and spiritual center of the black history they seek to erase. You see, like Ahab, he's surrounded by yes men. Because if this president had wiser counsel, Pastor, they'd warn him against attacking here in Atlanta, Georgia. Because the power of the presidency is nothing compared to the power of the people. Nothing. And our answer will be massive and overwhelming. 61 years ago in Selma, when John Lewis and Hosea Williams and Amelia Boynton marched into billy clubs and bullwhips, they didn't know that their movement would succeed. 6 years ago, when Georgians took those hard-won rights and set out to elect the Jewish son of an immigrant and a black pastor who holds Dr. King's pulpit at Ebenezer Baptist Church, we didn't know that our movement would succeed. But in 2026, if this man in the White House thinks that after all that, he's going to come down here and silence the people of the great state of Georgia, he will be dealt his most resounding defeat yet. But Big Bethel, it will take a movement. Big Bethel, are you ready to move? Are you ready to move? Thank you all so much for having me. Thank you, Pastor, for the invitation. Thank you.
My God. I think In Vogue, alongside Salt and Pepper, once said, what a man, what a man, what a man.
What a mighty good man.
My God.
Glory.
You know what? If I could go back, I want to say get some water. It was good. I mean, I wouldn't expect anyone, anything less from a Georgetown educated man who also, where do you go?
Wait, I'm sorry?
A little bit economics. Yeah, I would expect him. I expect him to deliver and to be well prepared to engage in audiences. Yes. To engage, with his constituents and in a way that seems familiar to them. Yeah, it's a good job. Oh, thank you.
Shout out to Georgetown. Yeah, I just thought it was good. I think people try to downplay the importance of an ability to say the words, say them convincingly, say them in a compelling manner. I don't, because I'm a realist. I just think he's good. He looks good. He talks good, as the old folks say. ASAP Build. Okay, in this lull, I will play another clip from Asaf posted 5 days ago. This is taken from the long Atlanta speech.
See, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller, they offer a small, closed, menacing vision of America defined by fear and scarcity and exclusion. They imitate the blood and soil rhetoric of history's worst regimes. Immigrants, Donald Trump says, are poisoning the blood of our country. Those are the kinds of words used by the most dangerous men in history. I listened to a speech a few months back by a senator from Missouri who's aligned with the president, and I think what I heard him say was that the only real Americans are those descended from the original European settlers. Now maybe he forgot the Mayflower itself was full of religious exiles fleeing persecution. But our heritage isn't limited to that of the Pilgrims and those who settled the West. America's heritage includes the descendants of slaves who won liberation from slavery and Jim Crow. It includes the Creek Indians who lived in Middle Georgia for 11 centuries straight. It includes immigrants from every region and continent who arrived here fleeing persecution or seeking opportunity. Americans are not a race. We're a people. United not by ethnicity, but by shared convictions, and that is what makes us exceptional and a beacon to the world. How amazing is it that the most powerful nation on earth proclaims as its core values that all are created equal, with inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, no matter how humble our beginnings, no matter our ancestry, no matter when we arrived on these shores. George Washington wrote in 1783, America is open to receive not only the opulent and respectable stranger, but the oppressed and persecuted of all nations and religions. 1783. Atlanta, that's a legacy worth protecting. And I was thinking the other day, what would the founders think if they visited us today? Well, they would see that slavery had been abolished. They would see that Americans without land and then women and then the descendants of slaves had secured voting rights. That American leadership in science and discovery had propelled knowledge and technology to unimaginable heights. They would see that the United States had become the superpower that defeated Nazism and communism. They would see a pluralist democracy, people of all colors descended from every point on earth, stitched together out of many nations into one, still the greatest hope for mankind. But they would also learn that of the world's great rich nations, American life expectancy is the lowest, while our childhood poverty, murder, and maternal mortality rates are the highest. They would see a nation that at the height of its wealth and power fell into the very traps they most feared, the dominance of special interests, bitter division between warring political parties, and a faithless president exploiting that rot to pursue the absolute power they overthrew. But they gave us the tools to fix this. They put the power in our hands. It's up to us, Atlanta. It's up to us. This is a turning point for the United States. History is calling the question, what kind of a people are we? I believe the measure of our success is not how many of the poorest and most vulnerable families we hunt down and shackle and imprison and deport. The measure of our success is whether each generation achieves greater health and prosperity than the last, and whether we live up to the promise of equal justice for all. I believe we can lift American children out of poverty. We can keep our communities safe from violence. We can make sure every mom and every baby in America gets the best care in the world. I believe we can reform our corrupt politics. We can unite the...
I have to say, this person does not sound like Barack Obama.
No,
He does not.
Well, I don't know what these people think. Yeah, there's nothing like Obama.
He sounds like a white man who lives in the South.
That's exactly what he said. One who graduated college. That's exactly what he sounds like.
American people to solve big problems and achieve great things again. I believe we will escape this moral tailspin and recommit ourselves to the values that have powered 250 years of progress. But none of this is possible without victory this November. Please stand for your food as we receive it.
Kim, who says he sounds like Barack Obama?
Feed
Oh,
we
sorry.
receive a champion for justice. The United States Senator.
I had to open it again because I want to send it to my mom. Sorry. That's why I'm playing again. Somebody in the chat said that.
No, he doesn't.
Are y'all up for one more 5-minute clip? This was posted yesterday. It doesn't have a whole lot of views yet. I've never seen it. It says, Asaf, the power of the presidency is nothing compared to the power of the people. Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes.
And maybe amidst all the cruelty and the chaos, you wonder if our republic can survive it. A government transformed into a tool of one man's vengeance and enrichment. A spiritually broken president.
Okay, so I didn't look at what this is, but it's a Delta something. It's a Delta something.
Who digs the moral pit deeper and deeper. Pastor, Proverbs says, whoever digs a pit,
he's rehashing what he did a couple days earlier. I surmise that it's a Delta something because they're wearing Delta Sigma Theta paraphernalia. But anyways, I am Asaf pilled. I'm on the Asaf train. I hope he doesn't fuck it up. I hope he can keep his powder dry for the next 18 months. So shout out to him.
He's got to win his re-election first.
Oh, he's gonna win?
Well, I'm just saying, he's got to wet some powder. Pause.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ben, you think if he pulls it off, he will just make the jump to the 28 race immediately, or?
Oh, for sure. I think it'd be, very, very quickly after.
He stands a chance. I can see a scenario where he can galvanize. You can.
For sure. He could win Georgia. That's a selling point. He's young, energetic, thoughtful. No seeming scandals. He doesn't come off as the wokey woke that they would try to do. The Republicans don't really say much about him. There's not much to say. He kind of keeps his head down and does his work.
Yep.
And he knows when to stick his head up and put it back down. He's very savvy. Warnock as well. The two Democrats in Georgia are very savvy. They know when to put their heads up and put their heads down.
To be a Democrat in the South, with a statewide election, yeah, you gotta be able to navigate. That's why I think there might be, folks from the South, Democrats from the South have probably a better chance at the nomination in 2028. I think you just have to be able to navigate those Republican spaces and weather those arguments. I think this is.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, like even in the Senate, when they do Senate hearings and stuff, he
Oh yeah, he's good at
keeps
it.
it serious, and he doesn't find himself shucking or jiving, let alone shucking and jiving. They do a very good job of that.
It was nice to hear that he didn't throw on a cadence. He doesn't have a drawl, like I said in chat. Like he doesn't have a Southern accent, but he definitely speaks at the speed of a Southerner, of a genteel Southerner, and says all the things you would want. I don't hear white people frequently think that they're thankful for another day. I'm just thankful, for my life, health, and strength. That's not something that white people normally say. So he was able to say that as a white person, but in a way that I think connects obviously with Black audiences, Black religious audiences, particularly, in a way that didn't have him like moaning and reaching into some artificial Negro spiritual. Yeah.
Well, he is from the South.
I understand.
Okay. The people that do that know Southerners. You know what? Since you don't have much familiarity from the South, given where you live and where you're from, some blacks can take you to the South to see how white people are. That's what we were told the other day. None of us live in the South or lived in the South. Remember that? We were told that yesterday.
Oh, well, I mean, you definitely don't.
Never. I've never been there.
You've never been there.
And in fact, clearly you haven't either.
I just defend Texas, but I'm not. Apparently, I crash out on Texas, but I'm definitely not there, and I've never lived there.
Oh, I have some updates from ChatGPT 5.2 Pro. All right, so I asked them to run it again and do a different kind of analysis. So the second analysis shows that the most Democratic votes in Dallas County have come from the Oak Lawn Branch Library. Now, I don't know if y'all know Dallas. I moved to Oak Lawn at first when I moved here. It's the neighborhood.
Oak Lawn and Cedar Spring.
It's the neighborhood. So they have the highest Democratic turnout. It's a very educated, uppity, obviously progressive. That's where this big Texas Supreme Court fight over rainbow sidewalks has happened. So the AI is telling me that is a good sign for Tellurico. And then the next highest is Friendship West Baptist Church. They have the second highest Democratic voter turnout. And of course, we know what that is. So, it looks like it's a fight. It's a fight.
Did Haynes endorse Jasmine Crockett? Was that like an official thing?
He hasn't. I just looked on his socials. He hasn't. Let me look one more time. But I don't think so.
Okay. Republic not be paying their time.
But the only thing about it is, I mean, he literally introduced her at her senatorial campaign kickoff, you know? Maybe, I think it's kind of implied.
Okay, so he's done something
Yeah.
with her. Okay.
I'm sad that I moved from the district that I never lived in because I feel like, I mean, he's already very present and visible. I feel like he would be a much more active congressperson in the community, visible, accessible. So, shout out to Texas 30.
Well, you never lived there. I don't have children and have a list. So, you know, it evens out on that.
So this is interesting. I see Texas Democrats endorsed Haynes. You know, I mean, Justice Democrats, I'm sorry. The Justice Democrats have endorsed Haynes. You know who they have not endorsed? Okay, sorry, I'm just saying.
How's everybody doing? Wonderful.
Doing well. Get out to dance.
We ask people.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is your name? I didn't know that was. I'm like, who is this person with the weird name?
Hey, what's up? How you doing? No, it's Bois. Let's do a class.
Oh, is that me being xenophobic? I apologize.
The person that speaks the worst English is in the class. Bois Palais.
Okay.
Bois Palais. There we go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you good.
Hey, Haitian been broke. Well, I think we've all been broke on this app at one point in time.
Oh yeah, I'm broken.
Hey, what's up, man? It's all good.
Hey, Action, I'm sorry, I was away from my phone.
No, you're good. I know everybody doing their thing. I'm saying so.
Wait a minute, y'all. Are the Chicago Bears about to end up in Indiana? Are y'all following this?
Oh yeah, you didn't know that? Did you?
Yeah. This has been going on. There was the last thing I looked, because I can't actively look at it. It's just too much.
No, they just announced that the Hammond site is the new main site. They've officially announced it.
Oh yeah. I mean that has been where the reporting has been for a while. Well, not Hammond. It was Gary. Gary and Hammond.
I'm sorry, you guys. Freddie Haynes posted this yesterday, the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats. I'm honored and grateful to have the endorsement of the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats Dallas chapter. They have a whole list of people.
Yes.
What's going on?
Something's off. Something's off. Yes, man. Yes, There's a whole list. It's like 30 people or like 25 people on there. Yeah, something's off.
I mean, we're gonna have to. I don't know. What is the cost of them endorsing, especially Crockett, and she doesn't win, and you do need those voters to decide that they're going to vote during the general election, in November. And so I don't know if there's got to be some cost benefit analysis. I mean, either they just don't want to vote, like they actually don't want to endorse her, and so they're not going to publicly endorse Tallarico, or there has to be some calculation that sort of supporting her and her not getting it will do something to the vote in November, or the turnout. Like it is.
So this is for the Dallas chapter. They would lose nothing by endorsing her. That's my only thing. Like, what do you have to lose? I'm gonna start going to Texas Coalition of Black Democrats meeting. I'm about to do some investigative reporting. Yeah, I'm gonna be like that man in Minnesota with the Somalians. I'm gonna be in there.
Well, are there other? I apologize. I have not been keeping up with y'all. So if I'm joining the conversation, you can just move on. But are there other Black political?
Not sure.
Orgs that have, like, is this just a better word, a term, a blackout, and no one is endorsing at that level in terms of Black political, orgs, or is it sort of hit and miss? Some are and some aren't.
I'm gonna.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm getting my Twitter fingers on it right now.
Oh, thank you. Because that would be interesting. That would be an interesting story to uncover if there was, the decision to not endorse. Just sort of stay out of it. Or I'm wondering, because I'm also like, does an over-representation of Black support for Jasmine Crockett reduce the white or Latino desirability for voting for her? In Texas, it could. She could be seen as the Black candidate.
But if this is Dallas, she has to do really, really well among the Blacks in Dallas. If I had to guess, I wonder if there's sort of like generational fight. I'm gonna start going to these meetings. I'm on the website right now. I'm gonna implant myself into this organization because I'm genuinely also I wanted to get more involved anyway, but I'm super curious because certainly they understand that it looks weird when you have endorsed candidates up and down the ballot and you don't endorse at the very top.
This is a recap of yesterday's crash shop.
Nobody's speaking. I thought my Wi-Fi was like fucking with me.
Hey, what
I'm gonna sit here in silence on this. Oh my god. What's up, Haitian? How you doing, bro?
All right.
That was some excessive niggatry yesterday. I swear, bro. And I'm so glad I was not part of it.
Oh, you know what happened, bro?
You don't know what happened?
Did you finish the clips?
It was crazy, bro.
Did you finish the clips, Kimberly? Why we have to change the conversation?
What's up, Gemini? How you doing, Gemini?
I'm gonna check one more time, but I think that was all the clips that he's posted.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll see how it shakes down.
Sorry. All right.
Oh wait, Ossoff was on Colbert. Or was this
Yeah.
Is this an online only feature? I don't know. Is that what they're doing now?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm about to play this 5 minutes.
Hey, everybody. We're back with Senator John Ossoff of Georgia. We're going to talk about what the action that Donald Trump and his Justice Department have taken down in Fulton County, Georgia. 3 weeks ago, the FBI raided the county election offices and seized 700 boxes of material from the 2020 election in a part of Georgia that he had contested fiercely. What do we know about why this happened?
Look, this all goes back to the president's obsession with overturning the 2020 election. People will recall that so many of his conspiracy theories began in the state of Georgia. Remember, he called Georgia's Secretary of State, our top elections official, in Raffensperger, and he asked him, he intimidated him, he pressured him to, quote, find him exactly the number of votes that he needed to win in a state that he had lost. And his lies about Georgia were part of what ginned up that mob that sacked the U.S. Capitol and tried to hang his own vice president. So he has been obsessed with Georgia ever since. And I think what we're seeing is that he is wielding official power and wielding federal law enforcement in order to try to pursue his obsession with overturning the 2020.
Are we allowed to offer criticism? Because I am going to do that. So my immediate criticism, and by the way, critique is good. Critique is how we get better. Okay, critique is how you win. My immediate critique is that you can't bring pulpit energy to an intimate interview. I understand that this is broadcast, but it feels it's too theatrical. Just like bring it back a little bit because you're talking one-on-one to a human and there's a camera there and there's an audience, but still you want to indicate that you are talking to one person. Anyways.
Do we know what was in those boxes? It was ballots for Fulton County voters. And, this has really shaken people in Georgia, where we have
Big sister, as somebody, if you've given interviews, if you've been interviewed, if you've spoken from a pulpit, you understand the difference, right? You present yourself differently in different venues. That's what I'm saying.
Such a deep history of attacks on voting rights, so much given, so much lost to secure voting rights. To have a federal raid seizing voters' ballots.
And just so people who may have forgotten, how many times were the ballots in Georgia recounted?
Over and over again, court case after court case. And then you've got Tulsi Gabbard, the nation's...
There she is, Tulsi Gabbard, looking like a spy, which I think Director of National Intelligence, and they're not supposed to be doing anything within the borders of the United States. She's spying on the FBI for Donald Trump, apparently.
Let me say, if you live in a major democracy,
Kimberly, pause it. Patient, I can't mute you, man, but you've been humming. You sound like you on the plantation, bro. I can't mute you for some reason. You sound like you can corn pop or making corn pop. Go ahead, Kim.
Nation's spy chief is showing up at raids on sensitive election sites. Something has gone wrong. Something has gone wrong. Well,
one of your mentors is a man I greatly admire, and that was John Lewis. And matter of fact, the last time I talked to John Lewis, he was here. He actually surfed the crowd. It was fun. It was fun. And here you are with John Lewis. I'm curious, how old were you when you met?
I was 16 when I met Congressman Lewis, and I had read his memoir, Walking with the Wind. You know, growing up in Georgia, you're steeped in civil rights history. And of course, he was a legend. He was my congressman. I read his autobiography. I wrote him a letter asking if I could meet him. That meeting led to a job. That job led to a lifelong friendship. And I never would have pursued elected office without his encouragement and his support. But I'll tell you what. You would have very high expectations of all of us at this moment in our country's history.
What do you think he would say to us?
I think that you know, and we all know, that there are some folks who are sort of doom scrolling in the fetal position. Every day there's a new outrage, and it's easy, I know, to fear.
Right? You see, Lindsay, you see it, right? Like, man, after I get done with this next chapter of my life, maybe I will do this professionally. These sit-down interviews, you want to create a sense of intimacy, right? Like, we've seen you on the dais, we've seen you in a pulpit, and there's certain kinds of cadences that are appropriate there. But that's not how you talk to people when you're just trying to be, chill, Be cool, man. Don't be all uncool.
That maybe we could lose our republic. And I think that what Congressman Lewis would tell us is that it's up to us. We have the power to right the ship. No one's going to do it for us. Theirs was the most successful nonviolent mass mobilization in American history, arguably in world history, the civil rights movement. They dealt with an awful lot. We can deal with this, but I'm telling you, these midterm elections are the whole ball game. There is a lot riding on what happens in November.
Senator, thank you so much. I think we're absolutely a pleasant to talk to you. Senator John.
Yeah, I still love him. I still love him. Just need to dial it back just a little bit. Maybe he's probably nervous. But anyways, I'm Ossoff filled. All aboard the Ossoff train.
If we're looking at young senators or young people who are senators for our side, which is to say the plantation side, I still think Gallego is a better candidate than Ossoff, but it doesn't matter. I'll take anybody but whoever the Republicans nominate. Vote blue no matter who. Plantation, neck bones, and banjos all around.
Neck bones and banjos is crazy.
Bashir was there this morning. Yeah, to Fishbelly's point, Tambo was always an interesting figure. I would have liked to have given Tambo over Mr. Bones myself if I ever did a minstrel show. Bashir all but admitted he was running for president this morning. I don't know if people saw that. I saw an interview with Pritzker. Somebody asked him if he lost weight so he could run for president. Did you guys see that? I mean, he's clearly lost weight so he could run for president. And he's lost a lot of weight.
A lot.
Like, a lot of weight. Like, he might not be president, but he probably added 10 years to his life. That type of weight loss. He's a dark horse, man. I'm telling you, he's a dark horse as well. Now, there's a religion issue, and we'll see how much that plays, especially given the Israel's never been less popular in the American political imagination, at least in our lifetime. So that could be a problem for him. But interesting.
I like Pritzker. Everybody likes their friendly neighborhood billionaire. That lane is wide open for him.
Yeah, I don't think the billionaire will matter because he's governed like a progressive in Illinois and been reelected overwhelmingly, which is, I don't know, one of maybe the bluest of maybe the second bluest of the big states, the major states. So I don't think the billionaire thing will matter. He doesn't, America just elected a billionaire.
No, I'm saying that I think that works for him.
Yeah, no. Somebody in the chat said the issue. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't think it's gonna be an issue. I don't think it's an issue. There's a lot of people, man. It's going to be interesting to see. And what could happen, it could be a Donald Trump type thing where there's a lot of viable people and like Trump is 16 and the vote splits, and you need to win a plurality. I think the Democrats are proportional. Yeah, you might get a super delegate scenario. That would be crazy. But yeah, he's Jewish. Ossoff was Jewish. Funnily, Ossoff is not technically Jewish. I don't know if people know the story. But his mama was not Jewish. His daddy was Jewish. And he didn't convert to Judaism.
Oh, that didn't even count.
Well, he did convert officially. I think he had bar mitzvah. I think he bar mitzvahed.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Yep. But 28 is so far away. Jamel Bowie did a thing. I don't know if y'all follow Jamel Bowie's shorts. He did a good short where it was like arguing about the 2028 election at this point is stupid, which is true. What's the poly market say about the Senate, Kimberly? Have you seen it?
I have not.
Do they give the Democrats better than 30%?
I'll pull it up.
Okay. The poly market. Go. The poly market. That's what Omar kept saying. I mocked him. He was right.
Poly market is Republican Party 60%, Democratic Party 40%.
Wow.
That's good. That's good.
$1 for those odds.
That's good.
That's insane. With this map, I think it's class 2. I don't know if that's it. That's crazy. This is a nasty class 2 map too. For them to be at 40% is insane. So I guess people think that Susan Collins is really going to lose. Oh, the great Susan Collins finally goes down. My Susan Collins oftentimes transfigures or transmogrifies rather into a Diane Rehm. So I apologize. For those of you who remember the great Diane Rehm. But many of you don't. Most of you don't.
Yeah, I do. I was gonna say giving kind of Katharine Hepburn like a little.
I know, well, the greatest actress to ever live in the 20th century. So I think that. Oh God.
Kalshi is also 60-40.
I've been trying to teach you people how to have a more effective speaking, and part of that is to understand the use of language. And to understand it, you need to have better words. Well, since this is a long conversation, Kimberly Foster, are you there?
Yes.
I think we've talked about this before, but do you remember there's a podcast of the family, and it's the two kids, adult kids, who are liberal and the parents are magats, but with every year, the older and older the dad gets, the more he turns into a full-blown Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, the dad also is demented. Yeah, we've all, okay, yeah.
Good tonight's conversation. Did you see Dean Withers was on it? Not Dean Withers. The other boy. What's the other boy's name? I like him better than Dean Withers. What's his name? What's his name? The other boy besides Dean Withers.
I'm trying to pull it up. I see here.
Is it not Parker? Not Adam Mock. Yeah, Parker Get a Job. Yeah, the Parker guy. Yeah, he was on it. The dad was saying, the problem with y'all liberals are dumb, and so far you're fucking stupid. And I know more than you. I'm 70 years old. He said, well, let's see. How many people are there in Congress? 425. And the guy said, that's close enough, 435. He said, how many continents are there? The dad goes, I don't know. And then I was watching it. The dad was like, I'm a fucking Catholic. We don't use the Bible. I don't use no fucking Bible. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Catholics don't use, I said, oh my God. We never had the Bible. When I went to church, they didn't read from the Bible. The mother was like, yes, we did.
What show is that?
What's happening? It's this guy. It's this guy called, what's it called?
It's called The Necessary Conversation.
The Necessary Conversation, and they had Parker on. But it's the original show with the two kids. They're very liberal, and their parents are just huge magats who, over time, the dad's got dementia or getting dementia. They just turn into horrible racists. I mean, it's been really bad.
But, you know, the mom, I think she, because the dad is drifting off to wherever he's drifting off to, the mom does seem more open in the conversations.
Where does come on at?
It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay, it's on YouTube.
Come in the chat. Hold on. His point wasn't that that people flout the rules of the Bible. His point was the Catholics don't use the Bible, that they don't read verses from the Bible.
I have to remember how to fucking pray the rosary.
Churches go 100% against the Bible, so he ain't lying with it. Okay. You have to watch the video. The point is that the guy is done. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, and period, that's not even fucking accurate, because I went to Catholic school. Also remember how to fucking read the rosary.
Of course they quote Jesus out of the Bible.
I mean, of course.
That was the point. It wasn't like all that. He wasn't making the claim they don't 100% hold up the Bible. Like,
No. Yeah, the dad does have dementia. People, when they get on, they get mean. Something clicks off in your brain where the mean thing clicks in oftentimes. That happened to my grandpa. Okay. There was, not too long ago on there, I actually, for the first time ever, the dad was talking about, he was abandoned by his parents. I don't know if y'all saw that one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The dad, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started when what's the lady, she's like, she was like, well, what's your, I was going to take care of my kids. But see, it's odd because the daughter has talked about growing up being verbally and physically abused by her dad.
Yeah.
It's a mess. Did you see the one where they went to the house and he gave a tour of the house?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Ugh, their house looks exactly like you would think it looked. I bet you it was moldy and smelly. In here, we got all my Trump gear.
Everyone waiting for me?
Anybody watching the Black and Jewish documentary? You watching Kimberly Foster?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Hey everyone. I haven't seen it yet. How many episodes are there?
On the third one.
Oh, okay. You know what? That's on my list. I still have to watch that Tyra Banks documentary. And there's a new Roberto Clemente documentary on Prime. I'm interested in watching that. It's called Black and Jewish American Series. It's on PBS.
Yeah.
But you probably can go onto the website and watch the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, they're on YouTube. I just
Yeah.
I just looked at it.
Yeah, what's interesting about it, much to the chagrin of the pro-blackers, is and people like Jared Ball, is that when you get to the critique of Zionism and Israel, the documentary does not shy away from it, and it actually talks about it, as far as PBS documentary go, in a pretty nuanced, to use a clubhouse word, way.
I was gonna ask, wait, why have I heard? Because you were crashing and playing clips from it. Oh, okay.
Yes, part one. Yes, that's correct. You're correct. It's a pretty. I mean, the documentary is he's not shying away from the tensions and the relevant Baldwin clips and everything. They show all the stuff. It's not bad.
No, I have to watch it. I don't know why I'm not watching it. But I need to get to it. Oh, Ben, I have a question for you. Did you watch the video where I can't think of the first guy's name, but Torre and FD Signifier are talking about the Super Bowl halftime show? Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
And then he put out a four-hour video on Tyler Perry. I'm not watching that.
FD Signifier is very popular. I learned about his YouTube channel from here, so when I went to go look at it, they were talking about the Tyler Perry thing. I saw that he did something on Charlie Kirk. So I wondered if it was worth my time.
I watched it. 12 Things About Coming to America. You didn't know video yesterday. And let's just say for the sake of the next minute or two, if we discuss it, or at least for what I'm going to say, let's just take it that it's all true. The general thrust, if not everything the person said. So let's just not question. Let's just take it as true. Most of them I knew. Stuff about the makeup and the trading places, Chestnut, James Earl Jones. There's some on James Earl Jones I think I kind of knew. There was one thing I did not know, and I bet no one in here knew. There was a television spinoff of Coming to America.
Oh, I didn't know that. How long did it last?
It didn't last long at all. It was, they filmed a pilot and they were playing clips from it. And the spinoff involved Akeem's little brother who came to the U.S. Let me see the name of the show before I tell you who played it. His little brother came to America to with OHA, and it was called Coming to America. The brother's name was Tariq, and the pilot aired as a special, and it was 1989, and it was Tommy Davidson played his little brother, and they showed parts of the clip. It is the worst thing you will ever see. I see why nobody bought it. Eddie Murphy was the executive producer. He had nothing to do with it. His name was on it. They said he didn't show up at set. He had nothing on it. It was Tommy Davidson, Prince 3 came to the U.S. with Oha. You remember Oha? She's your queen to be a queen. The guy that sings that. Came to America with him and lived with an American family. It was absolutely horrific. And you can watch it on YouTube. I watched it.
Oh my. And so it was just a pilot.
Yeah, and it didn't sell it. It is atrocious.
Yeah, I can see why no one bought it. If it's as bad as you're saying. And I believe you, because, you know, if it wasn't bad, they would have tried to sell it. But yeah. But why would anyone want to think that people were looking for a series anyway? That's the question that comes to my mind.
I think Hillary still has a chance of winning the primary. How do you know? Is John in the audience? Nodding on?
He's streaming.
I usually have all of his accounts blocked. I wonder if he has a new one. Oh, and nominated. But it doesn't matter if I have every single one of his accounts blocked. I'm not a moderator, so it's just then. That's one thing about government as well. He wasn't preaching that. But then again, in Clubhouse, you probably should say on whether the recording was recorded or not. Mighty John's account on Twitch or another account on Twitch? Lake Forest, maybe.
Has the room discussed rumors about Justice Alito retiring? I don't know if you guys have.
Oh. Doc today and
Were you saying something, Sherry? I didn't hear you.
No.
Oh.
I was just saying, no, I haven't been in, but I haven't been in this space. But I did hear about the rumors.
Yeah, I'm just looking articles. I started getting news pings earlier today about his possible retirement sometime before October. Let's see what the speculation says. So folks are saying that he's been on the court for 20 years. He has a memoir scheduled for release in October. The media's covered him a fair amount, and he's talked about his legacy. Some folks are saying that he might retire before the book is released so that he can avoid any conflicts between his duties as justice and his duties related to promoting the book. Let's see what else.
Well, why would that be the case? The other two justices didn't have a problem when they put out their memoirs.
Well, like I said, people analyze conflicts differently. I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying that folks are saying that that's one reason he might step down before the book is published. It also depends on what he discusses in the book. You know, he might say things that he wouldn't want to say while he's on the bench. Let's see. Folks are also saying that if he retires before the midterms, that Republicans could try to replace him to preserve the court's current balance, and that it would be strategic for him to do so while the Senate is still under Republican control. Let's see what else.
And that makes sense for them.
Yeah, he's given interviews about his achievements. He's discussed the Dobbs decision, and he's also signaled his discontent with the way politics is currently discussed publicly. What else? Yeah, so I don't know. But we don't have to dwell on it. I just didn't know if you guys had discussed it at all. And he's one of the oldest people on the court, so it does make sense that he might step down soon. I wouldn't be happy about that because the last thing I want is another young right-wing justice. So there you have it.
Yeah, there's 4 that are 70 plus, right? I believe.
I don't know about that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just.
No, well, let me look because I know Roberts is over 70. Sonia's over 70. Damn.
70 plus.
Who's the fourth person who's over 70? I didn't know that there were four.
Clarence Thomas is 77.
Alito.
Alito. Sonia Sotomayor is 71.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chief Justice Roberts is 71.
Oh, okay. Well,
then it's 65, 61, 58, 55, and Amy bringing it in at 54. Hey, Ben, are you familiar with IMG Academy? Was that affirmative or no?
No.
Oh, okay. The story won't mean much to you then. I thought you might be. It's one of those. Well, not one of. It's like the elite school for sports out of Florida. They started as a tennis school, but like they do every single sport now: soccer, football, everything. They just got in trouble because they were taking money from cartels, and they're investigating whether they were knowingly doing it. I guess the cartels were sending their kids there to play sports.
About 30% of the children that went missing during Biden's administration have been found. That's good news. And in the chat is a link to the Telegram too.
Sherry, are you by your mic? Yes, what's up? So I just saw an article that stated Eva Marcel was not asked to participate in the documentary.
I wonder why I didn't see her.
Who?
Eva Marcel, Eva the Diva.
For the
Top model.
Look, I never watched Top Model. I'm only interested in the documentary. So I don't even know who's ever on it. Yeah.
So I've seen the earlier seasons. So I would say Eva was one of the most popular people. In that same season, there was Takara, who did pretty well. The later seasons got weird, and so I just never tuned back in. And especially after they got rid of the Jays.
Hey, Kiara, do you know who was invited? Do you know what models were invited to participate in it?
So Danny, who won a cycle, Shanny, that was the girl who cheated on her boyfriend in Milan. So they were like kind of woven in and out. Then they had Jay, Manuel, Miss J, and then Nigel Barker, and then Ken Wong, who was the executive producer, and they also had Tyra, Johnny Sicilian, that her former client, Nick Pace. I remember Nick was not asked to participate as well.
Was Yaya?
No, Yaya.
You know, Yaya's my favorite.
She was pretty popular. They have really good people. One thing that, like, looking back now, some of the things that they did to them were like absolutely horrifying. Remember the girl where they took her to the dentist? They gave the backstory behind that. And they basically said that she was there like all day, and then she still has lifelong problems. But they actually extracted teeth. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, you know what? I never watched the show, but I've always heard negative things about it. And I think it was only rumored then, but people at the time of the show was on had issues with the show. So that's why I'm interested in watching the documentary. And I think the biggest critique right now is Tyra Banks and how she now looks. Since people have watched it, I have not yet. I think, how many episodes? Are there like 3 episodes? So I will be watching it to see what everyone's talking about. So I'm thinking about this I'm looking at it more in the sense of pop culture. And look back at it. So that's why I'm interested in it.
I wasn't sure why people were up in arms about the dental work recommended for that one model, because fashion modeling is it's a visual, it's an image conscious endeavor. And I mean, I'm not saying that I would have closed the gap in my teeth if told to, but if you're going to be obsessed with the world of high fashion and high fashion modeling, it doesn't make sense to me to want to throw away a lot of the things that come along with it.
I mean, if you're told that your uniqueness is part of why they picked you, and then they tell you to totally deconstruct it, you know, that's the thing. Like, that's an issue. It kind of tears you down. And I can speak from, a personal bias because I worked with one of the runner-ups, so I know her backstory for how it all went down.
What did they try to get your client to alter her appearance?
Yeah, she has gorgeous, beautiful, thick hair, and they constantly talked about her hair and how it was a problem.
and wanted her to perm it, to dye it. So she even colored it in different ways, and it fell out and went through all these different things. And then they didn't like her. They thought she was too top heavy. So when she made it to the final round, they kind of sabotaged her, and that's how she knew she wasn't going to win. Even though in all of the eliminations, the judges scored her high towards the end. She was like a favorite.
Black?
Huh?
Was her flag black?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the things that they said were unique and made her exotic, and were the things that they said set her apart in all of the eliminations. When it was time for her to go against the white girl, who ironically was also named Nicole, she knew by how they set up her station that she wasn't going to win, because the things that she was normally given, so that like she had like a stunning walk, like Miss J liked her walk, but in order for her chest not to distract from her walk, she would like take down her boobs. And so in the elimination, she didn't have a tape for her boobs. They didn't give her the hair products that she normally had, and she has like biracial ethnic hair. They didn't give her that. They didn't give her the right makeup for her skin tone. Like, they totally sabotaged her, so she knew. She was like, I'm not going to win.
In her case, it was two girls that both were sent to the dentist. The one was really excited because she was like, I'm going to get my teeth fixed. I never thought this would happen. Basically, what they did was just visual. So the dentist removed a few of her teeth. They shaved them down, but it created a bite issue. And so, like, the underlying orthodontic work that needed to be done was never done, nor did she have the money now to go back and fix it. The other girl was the black girl, Danny, who had the dad. And basically, when they first went to the dentist, she was like, yeah, I don't want to close my gap because I really like it. So they basically told her if she didn't close the gap, she was going home. Well, then a few seasons later, there was a girl who had a gap as well, but this was a white person. And they were like, this makes you so unique and so beautiful, and it's what sets you apart. But they made Danny close her gap. So that's why Tara got one back up.
Yeah, that's why it became problematic. I think if you're going to do that, I mean, yes, it is this visual thing. You do expect this idea of maybe, you might have to fix your nose, or you might have to do Botox or something like that. But who are you doing it for? I mean, who gets to decide who gets what? And it sounds like they were setting some of these people up to fail.
Well, it's a TV show, Sherry.
Well, I think it's more than just a TV show, right?
Well, yeah, but it's a TV show, so TV show is going to have some stuff going on in the background.
But I think there's a little bit more than this stuff going on.
Yeah, she's talking about in the career.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a launching pad, but
It's actually not a launching pad for their careers. No. You haven't seen it, but they talk about it in the documentary, how
they didn't launch
Tyra knew it wasn't going to launch their careers.
Well, Hurricane, to your point, it's because it's TV. Like, when you said that the show is TV production, I listened to a podcast well before this documentary dropped, The Curse of America's Next Top Model. And one of the things that they talked about throughout that 12-part series is that America's Next Top Model did not help springboard the girl's career because it was a television show. And how the industry viewed those girls were as reality TV stars, as a television product, but they did not view the girls as actual models. And some of the things that happened on America's Next Top Model in effort to make great TV did not translate to the industry. And in particular, with that being said, if you were on that show and you got a bad edit, you got the angry black girl edit, you got the difficult to work with edit, that did not translate well for you if you came out, and I don't know how many of them actually came out with photos in their portfolio that they were able to use from America's Next Top Model for the actual industry. Because I do think in that podcast, they did talk about how some of those pictures in that portfolio also did not translate when they went for interviews with agencies.
Yeah, it's just like people who get on reality TV as opera singers and think that being on reality TV is going to help launch your operatic career. Please, you're delusional. The gatekeepers to the operatic industry are going to act the same way the gatekeepers to the modeling industry are going to act. They're not going to take you seriously because you're on TV.
But it's not like that in music. Well, so I think it's reasonable for people to expect it to make the assumption that it might be it could be similar to how it is in music, because not all of the winners in the reality music shows fail. Some of them go on to be successful.
I said opera.
But Hurricane, I think it got
I said opera. But I'm just saying, as reality shows go,
but Hurricane, I think it got better for the girls as it went on. I think for the early girls, it hurt them more than it helped. But like we got Winnie Harlow, we got Eva the Diva. Some of the other people, they had different careers versus like Adrienne Curry, who was season 1 winner. Like she married Peter Brady, and that's what we know her for, really.
Do you think it's the industry then? Do you think that certain industries are more open to reality TV stars and competition participants than other industries are? Because maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I do. I think there's specific pipelines. Because there's specific pipelines, like how they set up, what the how they handle you afterwards, what the contracts are. Like I did some of the PR for the very first season of Sunday's Best. And if you look at Sunday's Best and like the first couple of seasons, the same producers that did Sunday's Best, American Idol, like how they set them up on the back end, like all of that's baked in. And they go through like the mentoring and the tutoring and stuff. They don't show them like at home and doing all of the reality stuff, like the real world type of stuff. They don't show all of that too. Also because they want to, those labels are invested in what they do on the back end with the winner. So I do think it depends on the industry.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That it's industry specific. I don't. I just know about the industry of opera because there are a few reality competition participants who've been opera singers, and they thought that getting on TV and then the whole opera thing was going to translate to careers, and it didn't. It actually hurt them because the operatic industry is very shady. And it requires people to demonstrate a certain seriousness and commitment to the art form, which they credit only if you show interest and interest in certain ways. So certain activities signal serious interest and commitment, and others don't. And one activity that doesn't signal serious interest and commitment in the eyes of the opera industry execs is reality TV. They don't take that shit seriously at all. I'm not saying that they're right to do that, but I'm just saying that's how it shakes out. But maybe things are changing. You know, the world has changed a lot since social media became popular. And I think with COVID, and which forced people to use social media to promote themselves in ways that they had not done before. I know an opera singer who picked her career into second gear by starting a performance series on YouTube. It was called the Purple Robe series, and every day for 30 days, she would post a video of her in a purple robe at her house in a closed room singing a song. Most of the time, it was for most of the performances, she sang operatic arias. Sometimes she did duets. Sometimes she sang pop music. Sometimes she sang standards. Sometimes she sang oldies. But it was always in a purple robe, and it was usually a cappella. And by doing that, she got opera houses interested in her again, and she got a few gigs from it. So her career moved to second gear, or to a higher gear because of that. It's also important to note that she's an extraordinarily gifted singer who could have had a bigger career, but she chose to be a mother and a wife. I'm not poo-pooing that, but a lot of times opera singers that we think should become famous don't become famous, and that's because they choose family over career. And that's something she did because divorce, and she's an Adosian, by the way, Johnny's. Her name is Nicole Easton Lane. She sang at the Washington National Opera a year or so ago. But yeah, she's a very talented, extraordinary singer. But she's not a household name, and that's because she chose to be a mom and a wife. She didn't want to have au pairs and nannies raise her kids. She wanted to be a mother. So she didn't travel much at a time that she could have been traveling and performing all over the world. So, it happens that way sometimes.
I would say, though, for the America's Next Top Model, I call it a mixed bag of things, if only because I think that most of the girls who got famous from the show were not famous because of modeling. Afterwards, I think the only one you could maybe give that to would be Winnie. Outside of that, the other girls, it's mostly like acting and other endeavors. But for the time when the show first came out, like 2003 and in the mid 2000s, I think for a lot of the young girls who went on the show, because these girls were 18, 19, 20, 21, there was the thought of the promise of this launching their career and all of the hope regarding that versus, all these years later, we're so deep into reality TV culture, we kind of know what it is. And then on top of that, I think some of the changes regarding industry shifting, like pre-COVID, the rise of the influencer on TikTok and Instagram and other places, a lot of these spaces were gate kept from people who were on reality TV, from people who were on the internet and were just internet famous. Post-COVID, with the rise of the influencer, you do have a lot of people who, if your name is hot, if you were a second runner-up on a popular TV show, if you were the winner of a popular TV show, you might get an invite to New York Fashion Week. You might get an invite to Paris Fashion Week. Depending on your measurements, you could walk. You might get model opportunities for spreads in magazines. And so the way things are changing within some of the industries it's interesting, But as it relates to ATM, it's just a mixed bag.
Yeah, and I have to think, Brett, and I know it says it's reality TV, and that's fine. But I think the idea of bringing Tyra Banks on as the host or mentor, or as it will, gave the show some gravitas. It gave it some legitimacy for her. Do you understand what I mean? So I think that was also a part of it too. I think it's interesting because we're just having this conversation about it. When we talk about this idea how reality TV had shifted, and was shifting where people honestly believe that the way in which to become famous or to be seen or noticeable had changed greatly. That's the part I'm interested in. And that's the part that I'm thinking about. What do you think, Brent? Because I haven't watched the documentary yet, but I'm going to watch it.
Well, see, especially I listened to the podcast, and I haven't watched the documentary. It's on my list of things, but like when you hear on the podcast, a lot of it was, this was Tyra's baby. It was Tyra's brainchild. It was what Tyra wanted to do, and Tyra thinking of ways and effort to be the change that she wanted to see in the modeling industry, given her body type, given her race, given a lot of the things that she had to deal with, coming in and being able to create a space for all types of women to be in the industry. And then you get with Ken Mock, and then for me, when I was listening to the podcast, as things go on, you just begin to hear that that was the original thought, and it was a great noble thought, but this is reality TV. And so when you hear about some of the challenges that they were doing and some of the things that they were doing, to me, after a while, it just sounded like, you were hazing the girls, you were pledging the girls, you were thinking of crazy, zany ways and effort to get all of these different shots and photo shoots because it makes for great TV.
Yeah, entertainment, yes.
But as I mentioned, when it comes to having a portfolio that you could then take to the agencies, you can't take that portfolio to CAA, you can't take that portfolio to Wilhelmina. That the photos aren't usable, and it doesn't translate to what you would actually do on a modeling set. So it was one of those things. Tyra's involvement definitely gave a level of legitimacy. She's a top model. She walked, in Europe. She walked in New York. She's also a Victoria's Secret model. This is coming off on the back end of her career as a model and into her transition. But, it just...
That's right. Because see, I'm trying to figure out the timeline. Does she still have her talk show?
This was the early stuff. The talk show was after.
Okay.
Some of it.
And just
I wanted to say that in the early cycles, there were more opportunity for them in the modeling space, and the if you knew how to hit the ground running, how they made you sign the contracts. So even if you got eliminated, you could not do anything until after the finale aired. But what I was able to do with my client is because my client had friends who knew that she had not been eliminated yet, and they kind of secretly pulled together people to kind of help her. So we knew as her season was airing what we had to line up so that as soon as she got eliminated in the finale, we could hit the ground running with press release and stuff. So by the time she got eliminated, I was able to make phone calls, and we had her doing guest appearances, walkthroughs, red carpets. She had an Essence
an Essence photo shoot. She had like all this stuff, like, because we went the whole Black America Loves You, and that was fucked up type of angle. Because everybody thought she was gonna win, and she didn't win. And so like we had that angle like in the bag. So and that was like, but that only lasted, like, that was the assumption that she was still gonna be able to do her modeling thing. She got signed, but she didn't get signed by one of the majors. But one of the other things that they did contractually is they limited who you could go, who the agencies could go get signed by, who they could go sign. Like, they deliberately did that. So there were a lot of things that they made it difficult for you by design, and you didn't know that going in. But if you were savvy, by the time we had the foresight, because the client I work with was the 7th cycle. So by the 7th cycle, we knew how we needed to navigate in the window that we had, but everybody didn't have that kind of privilege or luxury.
And just to clarify the point that Britt made about the photo shoots, one of the photo shoots that they did had the models dress and act as homeless people. And for the extras, they actually went and got homeless people to be in the photo shoot. Like, who cleared that? That's so weird.
I mean, on the podcast, they had a whole episode dedicated to her crazy, wacky, zany race mixing days, where she had all the girls, do a little yellow face, do a little black face, do a little white face doesn't exist, but she'd have them like switch racial casts and do pictures. She had a few photo shoots where the girls were like having to do something like crazy physical, where they were trying to get shots and it was dangerous. They just did a lot. And because it just made for good TV. Like, it's basically how I feel like sometimes with like Survivor or some of those like competition shows where they think, what kind of crazy challenge can we cook up for these contestants to do? And then they sit at a round table and cook something up. That's what they did with some of those photo shoots for those girls.
Yeah, it was like Fear Factor.
That's how you got the one picture with Eva with the tarantula on her hand, which was a very pretty picture. But they talk about the photo shoots in the Netflix show too.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Britt, what's the name of the podcast that you listen to?
It's called The Curse of America's Next Top Model. I'll put the Apple Podcast link and the Spotify link in the chat. Just give me a second.
Oh, thank you, because I think I will listen to it.
The title was a wild.
It is wild.
Sherry, did you watch the documentary?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch that documentary. I'm going to watch the Black and Jewish documentary. I'm going to watch that too. And I'm also going to watch the new documentary on Roberto Clemente from a person that does not watch baseball often. Yes, because I'm interested in it.
Yeah, the Next Top Model one was wild to me. I didn't know they went through all.
Yes, we didn't know a lot that had gone through, the scenes. We're busy being entertained.
They said that they would intentionally manipulate like their living conditions too. So like something about it had a set budget. They had to take care of their own food, and if they went out, it was on their own dime. But then they would do things like set the temperature on the thermostat up because in 100 degree things to make them like kind of set them up for a very eventful night, or like they would always do certain things to get the drama out of the girls too. That was pretty trifling.
and this is more for a question for Janice since she had client. How much were the contestants on the show were aware of what they were getting into? I know for the earlier ones, they may have been less aware than the ones later.
I missed the first part of your question. I hit a dead.
How much were they aware about what was going to happen when they got on the show?
What do you mean by aware? Like like the challenges?
Yeah.
For the eliminations, the
yes.
Modeling challenge? They weren't.
Yes.
They knew what was gonna happen when they showed up to the elimination. I mean to the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. And also, did they actually believe that they were going to have a modeling career, not in modeling, but in the entertainment business?
Yes, in the early seasons, yeah. But back then, a lot of the reality TV shows, you did have an after career and an after, because they weren't thinking about the ones that had the cameras.
There wasn't social media. So
it
people.
Was social media. There was social media.
What was the social media that people were getting famous from?
They had. Well, I was doing PR for a client that was on the show back then, so I was definitely using social media. So they did have social media. It was early, like influencers wasn't a name back then, but like I was gonna say, they had there were case studies and examples of reality contestant winners that went on to do different things. But the thing that was deceiving was people weren't realizing that the shows that had the cameras, like in the dormitories or living arrangements, that shot like around the clock, those are the ones that people weren't considering how that could hurt your trajectory in your career afterwards, because it showed your personality and how you interacted with people, and how you could create and lose fame. That part. But they had bloggers. Blogging was huge back then. You had I had to kill a lot of stories from blogs back then for clients. So where social media wasn't super big, you had Paris Hilton. You had one of my other former clients, Nicole Bitching.
So what I meant was
add social media to that.
Yeah. So what I meant was people weren't propelling themselves to fame via social media in the same way. So that allowed for the people who appeared on Top Model to actually have careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you, Doctor. I had my first Twitter account in 2009, but there's a reason why, we still have Eva, and I don't know where Takara is, but she was like a person, and who else would be from that time? But those people could actually thrive because there wasn't the landscape of people being able to thrust themselves into the spotlight via taking good pictures for Instagram. Just didn't exist. Like you needed a gatekeeper. But yeah, Tyra's not beating the allegations.
Why she decided to be a part of the documentary?
I think she had to because of the groundswell from the podcast.
She has been getting whacked on Twitter, and from the time it was still called Twitter into when it was transitioned into X. So for at least about a good 6-7 years, people have been talking about her and that show and how bad of a person she is. And I want to say once America's Next Top Model hit streaming where people were able to rewatch the episodes, it just got worse.
Yeah, because do you think that some of it was because some of the viewers were so young, like they were teenagers?
I think it's a mix between young people, Gen Z, who they were like, for all intents and terms, like fetuses when it first dropped in 2003. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of things that went on that they just never saw or didn't get. Then there would be like the 90s millennials who they were a lot younger. So when they watched it, you're 13, 14, 12, 10, you're watching it and it's cool, but you're not seeing it the same way you might now that you're in your 30s versus people who are watching it well into their teens and maybe early 20s who are age mates with these girls who had a view then, but then watching it back was just like, oh wait, I don't remember that. This is crazy.
I think streaming also feels like a rewatch culture where there's the people who missed it the first time, right? Like the young millennials and the old Gen Zs, and they had grown up in the in the context of wokeness, right? Like post-Obama wokeness. And so, we were talking about body positivity, which, was not on that show. And we were talking about, being problematic and cultural sensitivity and like all of those conversations that they were acculturated into, from adolescence. And then there are people who are my age that like were having their, woke awakening. It's like, there's like you look back and you're like, oh, that was fucked up. Like, oh yeah, it was fucked up that like you body shamed that girl because she was a size 8. Like, oh wow, like that was fucked up that you said that about her BDBs or her nappy hair. You know what I mean? Like, there's these two generational cohorts that like came together to be like, Tyra, you're problematic. Even though I am a Tyra apologist, I am, but she just. She gets it from up and down the age spectrum.
I mean, some of the most egregious stuff, the whole thing with the teeth, I could not believe that was happening. And then, of course, like was it the murder scene or the death scene photo shoot? I mean, that would obviously never happen today, but holy.
Were you new to? Did you watch it?
No.
Top Model originally? Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, I cannot imagine how horrific it would be to see that stuff if you were just introduced to it, because it's pretty bad.
I was in shock, actually. I don't know why the producer doesn't get more heat, the Asian guy, because wasn't he the one initiating this? But it was Tyra's final decision or something. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of heat to go around it.
Yeah, and I saw something today about how the co-creator of the show is Kenya Barris, and I feel like he's also not getting dragged. Like, he was an executive producer, he was a co-creator of the show. Yeah, he's a public person. Y'all also.
Yeah, he really got way to the side of that, because a lot of people don't even realize that. Another thing, the Jays, they were dragging her really bad. Apparently, Miss J had a stroke.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
So Miss J is actually able to take steps and get out the wheelchair now.
Oh, good.
Like they talked about, I know, so I'm like, kudos, Miss J. But they talked about how Tyra sent him like a short little text, but never visited him. And she tried to say like, oh, I live in Australia now. And so Jay Manuel's on Extra giving all the tea. He was like, she's been here for this, and this, blah, blah, blah. And she didn't make an effort to see a man in the hospital who was in a coma. So he still hasn't let her.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I never got good person vibes from Tyra. I think she really wanted to give off good person vibes, especially during her talk show. But she was never a figure for me, right? Like,
she was more favorable than Naomi Campbell.
But you remember what she did to her? She didn't want the audience to clap for her.
Yeah.
So she cleared the audience so that nobody would clap for her.
In that Naomi Tyra battle, I'm Naomi. I'm Team Naomi. Because it's like, girl, I don't know. It's a little whiny.
But see, to that point, growing up, for me as a younger millennial, the idea was that Tyra was, like, the narrative that I received was that Tyra was the good one and that Naomi was the bad one because of how Naomi treated Tyra.
That's exactly right.
It wasn't until you got older and you might have seen, like, some of what Tyra does that you kind of realized that, like, I don't know. I'm not saying you and Tyra, you might not be the better between you and Tyra, but I don't know how sympathetic you are, sister.
And you're not so sure about this narrative, whether it's true or not. Yeah.
Oh, you can definitely tell Naomi was living rent-free in that lady's head. To this day. She never served an eviction notice.
Yeah, I think Tyra has constructed herself in her mind to be the underdog, to be the Rosa Parks and plus size black models or whatever. Like, y'all remember Kiss My Fat Ass when she was in that bathing suit?
Okay, but I mean, if we were to think about it, she wasn't fat.
She wasn't fat. She wasn't fat at all. But like, this myth that she has created around herself is that she's constantly under siege. But it's like, I just never bought into it. It just wasn't.
I always thought it was weird that the media had pit these two black women up against one another. I mean, I paid some attention to it, but not enough attention to it. And they made it seem like, Tyra Banks, for all intents and purposes, was the pick me. If we're going to be honest about it.
Pick me, but yeah.
Naomi was fighting court cases. She was throwing cell phones at people. She was not worried about Tyra.
You guys don't think that the truth is somewhere in the middle?
For sure.
I mean, Naomi's not an angel.
Oh no, I like Naomi Campbell because she is mean, but she owns it.
Like, I mean, I'm team. So let me be clear. I'm team Naomi too all day. Always have been. But I never thought that Tyra's issues with Naomi Campbell were entirely Tyra's fabrication. I believe that Naomi did do some things that did hurt Tyra. I also do believe that Tyra is a hypersensitive person who lives in her head too much, and that can cause for the person. But I also respect Naomi Campbell because I don't like fake people at all. I like people to be real and honest about who they are, what they stand for, and Naomi Campbell has always struck me as that kind of person. So that's always going to get my respect, even if you're being real about being an asshole. At least you're not faking it. And Naomi always came across as a more real person than Tyra. So I'm team Naomi, but I never thought that Tyra's issues were just made up by Tyra. I did think that Naomi did do some shady shit, but Naomi had her own shit going on. I mean, granted, there were some black supermodels before her, but she was a pioneer in many ways, and I've always tried to give space and grace to pioneers because it's not easy being a pioneer. And so,
for me, what I was trying to get to is not that Tyra misrepresents what happened between her and Naomi, or that it's a lie. So much so that, like, part of Tyra's lore, her core narrative that comes out about who she is in part her struggles with Naomi that paint her in a very particular way to make her more sympathetic. And as you view her outside of all of that, it just, for me, becomes one of those things where it's just like, I think you rely on that in effort to give off more of an appearance of, like, the battle of good versus evil and all of these other type of things, and sometimes that might obscure the fact that you are also problematic and that you also have things about you. But, like, you always paint yourself as the victim versus, just you are who you are. That's what.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's totally okay to be mean if you're excellent. But also, I think Naomi's road was tougher. I think she just she was dark-skinned. She got in so young. She didn't have the kind of support system that Tyra had. I just think if the lady wants to throw a couple phones and she's that excellent for that long, let the lady throw some phones. She's competitive, okay. It's show business, not show friends. Like I get Naomi, and it seems Naomi has a lot of friends. Like, clearly, she's people are getting in community with her and finding camaraderie with her. There just is a whininess to Tyra that I don't really respect.
I often wonder how much of that was manufactured by the media.
She was. I mean, saw it on TV when she opened her mouth. You saw it on TV when she had the iconic interview with Naomi, where she cried for an hour, and Naomi was just like,
She got it.
I don't remember this. Brian, mute. Yeah. So, Tyler's a whiner. The receipts are out there, Sherry. Like she.
I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying there probably was friction between the two of them. But I'm wondering how much did the media exaggerate it? That's the question that I have.
Did you watch the interview, the sit down that Tyra had with Naomi?
No, I never watched any of that stuff. And to be honest with you, when I paid attention, when all that stuff was going on, to pit one against the other, I found it off-putting. So I really didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah, so Tyra.
Because I think the whole idea was to make Naomi, and I don't disagree with that, to make Naomi the one that America likes better than, Tyra was the one where she is supposed to look sympathetic. We like her more than we like Naomi.
And I'm saying that the interview that Tyra and Naomi had together shows Tyra admitting herself that she had serious issues with her perception of Naomi Campbell's treatment. So Tyra was saying, hey, look, for all these years, I have felt terrible about ABCDEFG. That's what the manufacturing. That's Tyra saying that she had carried pain for a very long time, based in part on some things that Naomi Campbell did, and based in part on some things that she believed Naomi Campbell had done. So while it may be true that the story presented to us in the media was partially was in some way exaggerated by the media, it's also true that there were problems between the two, and Tyra Tyra admitted to that. So
yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with you with that. Not at all.
But and this goes back to the point that I mentioned earlier regarding how Tyra frames these things. I think that then it also just makes it interesting, given her television show, her that talk show that she did, sitting across from Naomi, trying to tell Naomi Tyra's experience with Naomi, trying to get some sort of accountability or something from her, some acknowledgement. Does she really get that? Then to turn around in this space where her TV show is what her TV show is, there's documentaries and other things out, podcasts out about your show. There are all of these different former contestants speaking about their experience and how bad it was and some of the things that they went through. And I don't want to use it, but are you accountable? Do you even see that? How do you then act? Well, you kind of react to it the same way Naomi reacted to you.
That's right.
So it's not necessarily this idea of did Naomi do the things to, like, for me, it's never that. It's so much of you've put yourself and you've painted yourself via Naomi in such a corner about who you are at your core identity that when you are faced with the fact that who you think you are is not who you actually are, at least to other people, you can't handle it.
That's right. And now she doesn't, and at this moment, she doesn't have a Naomi Campbell to pit up against, right? So it's just now her and her actions and what she did on that show. And now people are finally seeing that the narrative that was put out years earlier is not necessarily so. Right? Or at least to say that the narrative is a lot more complicated and convoluted than we believe. I mean, she put Naomi on her show to further her brand and make herself look better. The idea of putting her on that show to say, you know, I want her to be accountable, and that way now everyone can see I can be the better person. And then at this point, Campbell no longer cares. It's like, okay, whatever. I'm done and I'm over it. And I'm going to be all right. I think there is something to be said that Tyra built her career was built on the idea of being pitted against Naomi Campbell. That's what I think. And she was more than willing to play that role and to accept it.
I mean, she also did it to her guests. I remember Kim Kardashian having an issue with the interview that Tyra did with her. And then she did later in her show. She had like a Where Are They Now for some of the girls on Top Model. And one of the girls was like, I've never watched it. I don't want to watch it. It was very clear. And then in the interview on the show, Tyra plays the clip. So I just think that, like, sometimes when we say things about others, it's really talking about ourselves. And she is a bit of a mean girl.
Oh, you mean Tyra?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no question, because, I mean, at the end of the day, and the day must end, so they say, it is Tyra that's sitting in a documentary having to explain herself while Naomi Campbell is somewhere living her life.
But I really do think she was a part of it because she was trying to spin a narrative. Because even when they did the whole cat shakeup and they fired the Jays and then Nigel Barker, she was like, oh, the head of the network, I avoided him, and there's no sacred cows, and that let me know I can be gone. And eventually, they did fire her, and they replaced her with Rita Ora, but by that time, nobody watched the show anymore.
This is a side quest and off topic. I apologize. I just saw my negative attack ad, my first one for Wesley Hunt.
Oh, and what did you think? Who did you think?
They are hammering him hard about that. He voted for Hillary Clinton. Turns out he didn't vote at all in 2016. was nasty. They said he backed Hillary, abandoned Trump, and is bad for Texas. And that Texans deserve better than fake MAGA Wesley Hunt. And they had a picture of him with that cue ball and some sunglasses, some black sunglasses, looking off like he is on America's Next Top Model. It was bad. Brett, that made me wonder. I said, did my friends vote? Is that website back up yet? But sadly, it's still not up. Did anybody check that out in 2024 at all? No, I haven't checked. Well, they stopped it. I'm pretty sure that they probably got a few lawsuits because you can literally look up people to see what elections they voted for to figure out if they actually went to the polls. But they suspended the site.